So to start, you should be using a pen instead of a pencil. To do the carbon copies on most lab books, you'll need an ink pen, which will show up much better, as you can see here. For you use a pencil, it's not going to show up on the carbon copies as well, and also can be erased or changed, which you don't want for a lab notebook. If you do somehow on accident use a pencil, another reason not to use it is if you try and erase it, it'll just look even worse. So, lesson is do not use pencil. If you do happen to make a mistake in the lab notebook, you shouldn't cross it out excessively, so that you can't read it anymore after you've crossed it out. Instead, you should make a single line through whatever mistake you made so you can read it again, just knowing that's omitted. When you do start a new lab, make sure to put all the important information at the top, such as name, lab partner, date, title of the lab, so that you can go back and reference it. You also want to write down any observable qualitative changes, such as a change in color, and embed all this in your procedure in real time so you don't forget later. Make sure to write down everything and absolutely everything, even if it's not what you expected.
To make sure that your lab is as detailed as possible, make sure that you include stuff like drawings, as you can see here, and calculations, as you'll see on the next page. Make sure you show all your work so that you remember what you did if you ever reference back to it. Also, make sure you include observations during the lab, and then tables will also help.
So this is what a standard lab notebook should look like. At the top you have the experiment number, the experiment name, the date, your name, and your locker number. And then make sure you have a pre-lab that's detailed enough that anyone could replicate your experiment. Also make sure your notes made in lab are clear enough that you can refer back to them later and know what you did. Also make sure that your handwriting is clear enough so that other people can read it.
So this is basically what your lab notebook should not look like by any means. Obviously, as you can see, it's not all the important information is there. There's missing stuff. It's obviously written in pencil because you can't read much. It's not very organized. There's a lot of scribbling, and that eraser mark is awful.
So the most important thing to keep in mind when making your lab notebook is to have it neat and organized so that if someone else were to go back and look at your notes or procedures, they could read it easily. And also if you were to redo the experiment, you could do it with nothing but your lab notebook.